This past weekend, Pastor Dave talked about noise in the life of Jeremiah. And one of the things he mentioned was these confronting conversations where you have to say the difficult thing. That's not easy for me, just my personality. I'm a pleaser. The truth is, it's not easy for anyone to have difficult conversations. So I've tried to learn from those who are better at it than me, and they've given me some really cool tips that I want to pass on to you in case you have to have a difficult conversation. Step number one, before you ever have the conversation, project that you're going to have a conversation. That is a text, an email, maybe a passing mention, something like this. Hey, we need to talk. That will open their ears and maybe open their heart to a difficult conversation. Step number two, as you sit down, say this out loud. This is going to be a difficult conversation. Like, put it on the table. Prepare them for what you're about to say. Then, this was so helpful for me. I got this from Ben Gao, one of our executive pastors. Apologize right up front for not saying everything clearly. So it might sound something like this. Hey, because this is difficult, I'm going to stumble on my words. I know that, and I just want you to, I'm going to ask for your forgiveness right up front for not saying it like it probably needs to be said, but it needs to be said. And then third thing that I would say right up front is, I care more about you than I care about us. Like, I know that what I'm about to say is going to be hard to hear, and it might put some distance between us. But I care so much about you that I'm going to tell you what I'm convinced you need to hear so that you can serve God the way you need to serve Him. And then after the difficult conversation, don't talk to the person about you always do this or you never do this. Always and never are never true. See what I did? I also wouldn't talk about their intentions because you don't know that. Talk about behaviors, actual actions. When you did this, this is the consequence of it. And then after the conversation, pray together. If you're comfortable doing that, or if it's appropriate to do that, because when you pray together, it draws a line on the end of the difficult conversation and you can move on from there or even exit the building. To drag it on is only going to make the difficult awkward. That you don't want to add awkward to difficult. So put it in the hands of the Lord and walk away. The shorter you can make it, the better. After the conversation, so you got before, during, and after. After the conversation, I'd text them within the hour and say, thank you for listening. And then this is so important. Do not judge their response by their response. Here's what I mean by that. My daughter was strong-willed, still is. She never received discipline immediately well. Sometimes it took 3 days. But after 3 days, she always responded incredibly well to difficult conversations. Some people just take time to think about it. Don't judge another person's response by their immediate response. Give them time in their own way to process it. And then, this is so important, put it in the Lord's hands. Your call is to speak truths, even hard truths. Your call is not to make them respond well. So you say what needs to be said, and then put it in the Lord's hands and let Him take them across the finish line. And that is something worth talking about.